Long ago, during the reign of the sixth Hung King, the peaceful village of Pudong rested among the golden rice fields of Van Lang. One morning, an elderly village woman discovered an enormous footprint pressed deep into the wet earth. Curious, she placed her own foot inside it. Soon afterward, she gave birth to a beautiful boy named Gióng. Yet the child reached the age of 3 without speaking, smiling, or taking a single step. Gióng remained silent, gazing beyond the bamboo doorway toward the distant mountains, as though he were waiting for a call only he could hear. Then, a vast invading army crossed the northern frontier. Watchtowers burned, villages emptied, and dark columns advanced toward the heart of Van Lang. Bronze drums carried the warning from hill to hill. Families fled with their children and the little rice they could save. King Hom received the terrible news and understood that his ordinary army could not stop the invasion alone. He sent royal messengers throughout the kingdom, calling upon any hero capable of defending the land and its people. When the messenger's horn reached Pudong, Gióng suddenly turned toward the doorway. For the first time in his life, the silent child spoke. He asked his mother to invite the messenger inside. Then he calmly requested an iron horse, an iron staff, and armor forged for a giant. Across Van Lang, the finest smiths worked through the night. Fire lit the forges as iron, bronze, and the ancient patterns of Dong Sun took shape. Meanwhile, Gióng began to eat. 1 bowl became 10, and 10 became 100. Yet still the child was hungry. Every family in Pudong brought rice, vegetables, fish, and cloth. The hero was not raised by one household, but by the strength of an entire village. Before his mother's astonished eyes, Gióng stood for the first time and grew taller with every breath, until the bamboo roof could no longer contain him. At dawn, the iron horse and sacred armor arrived. Gióng knelt to receive his mother's blessing, then rose as the mighty protector of Van Lang. The young warrior mounted the iron horse. With one final look toward his mother and village, he turned toward the smoke on the horizon. Horse and rider raced across the rice fields like a streak of bronze fire. Every beat of the iron hooves made the earth tremble. In a great valley, the two armies faced one another. The invaders saw only a single warrior standing before their countless spears. The iron horse reared and breathed a river of golden flame. Gióng charged through the first battle line, shattering weapons without mercy toward the invasion. Behind him, the people of Van Lang rose together. Messengers sounded their horns, drums answered across the hills, and villagers carried food, stones, and bamboo shields. The enemy commander ordered his soldiers to surround Gióng. A circle of dark spears closed around the young warrior and his iron horse. But Gióng spun his iron staff like a wheel of thunder, breaking the ring and scattering spearheads across the field. Again and again the staff struck the enemy shields, until the mighty iron weapon finally snapped in two. For one heartbeat, the battlefield fell silent. Then Gióng looked toward a grove of bamboo bending beside the road. He leapt from the saddle, seized an entire clump by its roots, and tore it from the earth. The strength of the homeland had become his new weapon. Mounted once more, Gióng swept the bamboo through the invading ranks. Spears broke, banners fell, and green leaves filled the storm-dark sky. At last he faced the enemy commander. Bamboo met bronze in a final clash, and the invader's spear shattered beneath the strength of Van Lang. The defeated army fled toward the northern mountains. Gióng lowered his weapon and did not strike those who had already turned away. The people returned to their fields and rebuilt their homes. From Sóc Mountain, Gióng looked back one final time and raised his hand to his mother. He asked for no throne and accepted no treasure. The iron horse carried him into the golden clouds, and the people remembered him forever as Phu Tien Vum, the heavenly guardian who arose when his homeland called.